Hey Hofstra fans, welcome to the WBB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. My name is Kevin Dexter, joined as always by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, thanks so much for the time. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
This past week for your team, you split 1-1 your first conference loss to James Madison, but a bounce-back game against Northeastern. Also happened to be your 100th career win at the helm of this program. So we know you were trying to kind of play it off a little bit last week, but has it settled in now?
Yeah, it was unexpected. Some of the, the way people responded to it for me, even as close as my own husband. I just really didn't have any expectations at all. So I was very, very pleased. Had a lot of warm wishes, and people just out of the woodwork. People all over, different alumni from different years, had tons of emails and voicemails from people out that I had never even met. So just a big thank you to all the warm wishes that I received from everybody. I was very surprised, and I appreciate it.
Well, back to the first game of the week, the loss to James Madison here at home was your first loss in conference play, and JMU came out with a solid game plan against you. What do you think the biggest reason was for your team not coming out to battle with James Madison?
I don't know that. I mean, JMU came out with a vengeance. There was definitely no argument to that. I'm sure, 2 years in a row that we had been knocking them off, and and I think they have been playing with a chip on their shoulder without Don Evans in their lineup, and a lot of folks, saying that they weren't going to be as good. We certainly knew that they were going to be, very good and a very good team-oriented, not as one-dimensional. So, I think, maybe a little bit of that. I don't know. I don't think the team would tell you that they weren't ready, because that really wasn't it. But we certainly did not play up to par, and they caused us to disrupt a little bit, and we didn't respond. And I think that was a bit uncharacteristic from us. We usually are on the other side of the fence. So, we learned a very tough lesson last Thursday, and I think we've been getting better and better since then.
And what was the message to the team to kind of forget about the loss and just keep moving forward?
Well, and we had to. It's tough. I mean, as much as you want it, really it was the hustle part of it was the message that, you need to control what you can control, which is playing your very best every time you step on the floor. And I think when, you get frustrated, everybody's changed defense on us, everybody plays all different kinds of things, and it's how we respond to that. So it's really, that was the message that, I can't sit here and I'm not going to tear us apart and say, because we are a great team. You don't just become a great team overnight, and you don't just lose it after one loss. And so that was that big message. And then it was also, but you certainly have to respect everybody, and you certainly have to handle the frustration. I thought we played in a little bit of anger at times, because either what was happening to us, or we weren't making shots, or we weren't able to do the things, and that type of emotion really clouded our judgment. And so that was really the message: is that number one loss doesn't define you either way or the other, and but you certainly have to stay composed.
Well, the Northeastern game on Sunday, you bounced back with a win, but Northeastern leading the CA and three-pointers made, and they made a bunch of three-pointers, kept themselves in the game. What was the biggest thing in that you told your team as far as defending that three when you play Northeastern again, or specifically in that game?
Well, and I think there was some moments that I saw as a coach that, hey, we need to get over that hump, that little confidence that got, smashed a little bit from the last game with JMU. And, Northeastern always plays us tough. That's one thing that the team had been telling all the younger players. This is a game that no matter what the draw is, no matter what anybody's placed, they always play us really tough. They always play us tough, at home. It's just been a long-standing battle. I mean, even my athletic director, Jack Hayes, and the assistant, Danny McCabe, both stated that, that didn't look like a team that, is the 11th place team or the 12th place team. And, that's a tribute to Northeastern and how they, put it together night after night and play with a lot of heart and hustle. So we, once again, here's another game where kids are, Elise Mark, very good penetrator, doesn't quite shoot as many threes as the rest of the team does, like Kirkhoff and the rest, and she hits 2 threes at the end of the buzzer beater and things like that. I mean, it's just really come to be expected now that people, do play, some of their best games and they play against us. So but we did what we needed to do. We got the ball down the stretch, and our guards just need to continue to play better.
And in that game, Caitlin Loper, after missing a couple of games, comes back, hits a couple of threes. She said after the game that her confidence isn't right back where it was before the injury, but how do you feel like she's coming along?
I mean, I think she looks really good. This week she's looked better than ever, and so I'm proud of that. I mean, she's just really, very focused. She's a player that, tries to get better every day defensively as well. The mistakes she makes in the last game, she tries to, make them right, as the week goes on. So I'm glad that she's getting back in the swing and she's feeling better.
Well, Coach, coming up this week, a huge game coming up for you
Yeah.
tomorrow against Delaware. You also have another game coming up on Sunday. As always, the Thursday, Sunday going to
Yeah.
Drexel, another tough game on Sunday.
Right.
But first, with Delaware coming up tomorrow, we know they're top 15 team
Right.
in the rankings in the country, number 1 versus number 2 battle. How do you
Right.
not put too much of an emphasis and get too hyped up for this game, though?
The kids are obviously ready for this game. It is what it is. I mean, these are the games that you live for. These are the games that the wins and these are the teams that you need to beat. I mean, this is where for us to continue to be moving forward as a program. Now we have something on our schedule right here that's in our conference that is just a really big channel. So it comes down to wins and losses right now, and and so we just need to step up on the plate, going to their place. It's going to be a loud crowd. And it's just that environment that, we have been conditioning ourselves to be in, and now we're faced with it, and now we've got to just step up for this challenge. So, I mean, I certainly know that they're ready. I can't say more, not that we're too hyped or not too hyped, and I think we've just got a lot to prove to ourselves, and we know it's 40 minutes, and, so I think their mind is right. We had a really good practice yesterday, and, it could be anybody's game, so it's fun. I mean, we know that we can take care of business, and we don't feel like it's David versus Goliath either, so it's going to be a great challenge.
And we know Delaware's got one of the best players in the conference in the country, in Elena Deladon, averaging almost 30 points and 10 rebounds a game. How do you game plan to try to slow her down?
Well, I think a lot of people go at this the wrong way, too. I mean, you're not going to stop this player who's, to me, arguably one of the best players in the nation. I just said that to my husband last night. I was like, she is one of the best players in the nation. I know Brittany Griner is getting a lot of hype, and, Brittany is phenomenal, but, you have this player here that just has a skill set like no other, the ability to score, on a dime and in just so many different ways. So, I think people go at it in different ways. So, we have, we certainly have what we want to do and what we're going to try to do to beat them, and and I think we have a good game plan. And I think the kids, they said that after practice yesterday, they were pretty excited about the game plan and they like what's going on. So, and now we got to put together. We had a good game plan. For now, that's the whole point. They need to execute, they need to respond, and we went to battle last week. We had a good analogy that we went to battle. We had some of the ammunition, we didn't use it. We need to use what we have, and we need to stay together and really have a hard-fought battle.
Well, Coach, with this being right in the middle of the CAA, you're 6-1 now. Obviously, at Delaware and at Drexel, you beat them earlier this season, but they're playing very well this season, right behind you in the standings. Is this the biggest week for your team, coming in right at the turn? You want to make it to the halfway part, getting these 2 wins?
Yeah, I mean, I think every game is a big game, though, Kevin. But you certainly can't argue that this is a big week. But night after night, you've got people you're playing as tight as you're playing in Northeastern. So it's like every game is a game you need to win. Every game is a game that you need to win, and that needs to be your focus, is winning. And so it doesn't make it more or less. This week it happens to be Delaware and Drexel, and then XYZ next week, and then you have people who are only going to be playing one time, whether it's a Mason, whether it's going down to VCU. So I mean, these are just what separates the good to the great here, and this is where we are. So we've asked to be in this position, we've worked ourselves to be in this position, and now we got to respond and have fun with this too, and have fun. We certainly aren't any more nervous or any more different than we are any time. So that, that's the whole key, is just finding a little healthy balance with that.
Well, Coach, final question for you. As usual, what do you think that your team has to execute the best against Delaware and against Drexel to come away with wins?
We need to play defense without fouling, and that's where some of the anger stuff came in the JMU. You've been watching us for a while. I mean, some of the little frustration fouls that we were doing in that game, and given a team like JMU that scores on offensive rebounds in the free throw line, and that's the two things they did quadruple against us. That really was a little bit uncharacteristic for us. So now you got a team that, Deladon scores good 15 points or so from the free throw line. So we certainly got to do a better job like that. We need to play at our tempo, play at our pace. We always talk about that. We need to play at our pace, and of course it's going to come down to rebounding. And that allows us to do what we need to do. So, those three factors, but I probably think out of all the three, yes, rebounding, and then, playing good, solid defense without fouling, and then getting the board after that, and not giving them second chances.
All right, well, at Delaware on Thursday, at Drexel on Sunday, you can listen and live stats of the game and live audio right here on GoHofstra.com. Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck this week.
Appreciate it. Thanks again for all the nice comments, too. It's been a fun week.
And thank you for tuning in to the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.